Alright, hello everyone, how are you all doing today? I myself am doing rather well, and today I wanted to talk about the Suicide Squad, gush over it a little bit. Nothing too heavy. As always, this isn't really a review. I don't have a critical enough eye to review anything, but I can definitely talk about what I like, and I do want to talk about what I like about this film. And I love the characters from this film. Now, uh, before I get into that, of course, James Gunn is a pervert, and if you can't quite separate art from the artist, that's a completely fair opinion to not want to watch one of his movies. I'm not gonna argue over it or anything because I feel it's a valid thing to do. You hold your beliefs and you're sticking to them. That's actually pretty commendable. And same with John Cena. He there was the thing with Taiwan and his apology in Chinese for China about referring to Taiwan as its own separate country, even though it's not a province of China, even though they really want it to be. Uh, so that's neither here nor there, though. Let's get into the characters of Suicide Squad. So, first up, Bloodsport. Uh, Played fantastically by Idris Elba. He is not a copy of Deadshot like a lot of people think he would be. There are similar story beats presented, but they do the story a lot better here if you were to compare them. Um, I don't think there's enough there really to say it's a complete copy paste, but even if it was a complete copy paste, this movie does what they were trying to go for a lot better. So I would definitely just try it out for that. Idris Elba isn't Will Smith, and Bloodsport definitely isn't Deadshot. But in fact, Bloodsport is pretty cool in a lot of ways. Just down to the design. They've got it presented very tactically, very moderately. It's not as flamboyant as Peacemaker's costume or comic booky, really. And it's just this cool thing where he can pull off different parts of his suit, and makes a different weapon. Later on, you find out that he could put these weapons together to make an even bigger weapon, and it's a very badass setup, honestly. Following that, Ratcatcher too. She's the daughter of the Ratcatcher in this universe, and played beautifully by the actress. I don't quite know her name, but I would definitely like to see her in more stuff because, she just captures the emotion so well with her, and you really feel for Ratcatcher too at moments. Um, and she just takes you on the emotional journey of the movie, because as she relates to Bloodsport, he's going through stuff with his daughter, and he doesn't want her to end up as a criminal like him, uh, or at least suffer criminal prison time and stuff. That's a terrible way of phrasing it, but hopefully you all get what I mean. And she's just a few steps ahead of Bloodsport's daughter, because she's already ended up in prison because they considered the rats as armed robbery, and so she's stuck there. She's sleepy. She's the heart of the movie, and she carries that very well. There are a lot of times where you get scared because, of course, this movie is called The Suicide Squad, and right up in the front, they show you that they're not afraid of killing off characters. So you get real scared for her because, you just learn to enjoy these people. And speaking of a more contentious character, Polka Dot Man, some people like him, like me, and others just can't stand him because they feel that, I don't know, he doesn't do too much, or they don't feel for his problems and stuff like that, which I don't really get. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. He has mom issues. She tried to create superheroes and ended up infecting him with an interdimensional virus that causes him to puke out the polka dots. He has to do that at least twice a day, or else the polka dots will overtake him. And it's a bad deal when you really think about it, but you're never really laughing at him. You're laughing at the situation that he's basically in. So, yeah, if you find yourself connecting with him, bravo, because that I feel that was the point. Nanawe, the king shark, another fantastic character, albeit a little simpler. He doesn't talk too much. He's pretty stupid, and he's actually played by Sylvester Stallone, or voiced by Sylvester Stallone. With him, you get this childlike sense of, what is it, understanding to the world. He's reading a book upside down, and he's just like, I'm smart, and things of that nature, just to appeal to people, because his story arc ends up being that, nobody really wants to be friends with a giant man-eating man shark. So, I loved his little story arc, just going through and trying to get friends, and making the conscious decision not to eat his friends. I find that funny. I found that caused a lot of funny situations, and still carried a lot of heart as well. Finally, I don't have too much to say about these final characters. Peacemaker, played by John Cena. He's just this guy who will do absolutely anything for people. And he says it outright during the movie as well. I'll kill any man, woman, or child to maintain peace. And, it causes a lot of contention in the group. Just this simple fact. And it pays off beautifully in the end. The scene, it's the best fight scene out of the movie, and if you get that far, I know a lot of people won't even make it past the first 10 minutes, but if you get towards the end, it's just this beautiful fight scene, and well-deserved, choreographed, sorry. The next character is Harley Quinn. I didn't mind her too much in this movie, although if you've watched all 3 movies that she appears in, then I can get why you're tired of her. It's the same deal here. She doesn't really go on any journey. She's just kind of there to be the wacky character and throw out some random lines here and there. She does have 1 or 2 jokes that really really made me laugh. Otherwise, she does her own thing. She doesn't really contribute to the main plot of the story. And finally, the last character I'd like to talk about is Rick Flagg. Not much to say, actually. He shows up. He's a good character. He's a good guy, and he's in charge of all these misfits, and you really feel for him for having to deal with all these guys, especially Harley Quinn. Although it is strongly implied that him and Harley are friends, although I'm not too sure if I can buy that completely. Yeah. Notable deaths for me were the Weasel. He's, it just leads into a fantastic moment. he jumps out of the plane, and he can't swim because they're all diving into water, and they just barely find out that at that moment that he cannot swim, and he just goes out in hilarious fashion. He's screaming, he belly flops into the water, and not much story potential anyways, so I was happy that he was used in the way he was used. And finally, Captain Boomerang, which I felt was a complete waste, really. He was actually a good character, and he goes out really quickly and unceremoniously, which I understand. Again, it is the point of the Suicide Squad, but he goes out so quickly that why even put him in the movie in the first place? There's another character you could put in his place who could have easily gotten killed the same way that he did and gotten the point across. And those are my major thoughts on the movie. I'm glad if you've stuck around to the end of this video. Not many people have a happy Monday, but I do wish you a happy Monday. What are your thoughts on Suicide Squad? Go ahead at the Suicide Squad. Such a stupid naming convention because it's so close to Suicide Squad, which never mind. Go ahead and leave those comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe. Until next time, I hope you guys take care.